New York is Ask an Engineer.
Hey everybody, welcome to another fantastic Ask Engineer. We have all sorts of fun engineering to show off and talk about. We're broadcasting live from the totally full of stuff Adafruit headquarters and toy shop in downtown Manhattan. With me is Adabot, who's on camera control.
Yeah.
It's just us two today, no special guests.
Nope.
We hope to have some special guests soon.
Yeah, we will.
Becky's on special assignment. K-Town is also on a European adventure. And hopefully we have John Jr. in the chat, though, so we have more Ada friends. Can we call this, like, Ask Engineer and Ada Friends or something? Can we say that?
Working on it.
I think there was a cartoon, Saturday morning cartoon like that. Anyways, so what's on tonight's
Lady
show?
Ada and the Ada Friends. All right, on tonight's show, we're going to just be talking about celebrating our third year of doing Ask an Engineer. The code tonight will be 3. We'll talk about that in a second. What was on the show and tell. Amazing projects from the community. Google did some neat stuff and gave us some new URLs for all the stuff on Google+.
Yeah, we got a special name.
Entrepreneurs. Voting is open. You can vote for Lady Ada for Entrepreneur of the Year.
Vote, vote, vote.
Vote, vote, vote. We'll talk about that in a second. We have mailbag. There is some Lady Ada graffiti. We'll talk about that. Fritzing Friday. John Janier has been on a fritzing storm. It's awesome. That's a little thing from Kevin. Flora is being worked on. Becky's been working on it. Somebody made this cool resistor tie with our little resistor tie. We'll talk about some open source hardware. Talk about a little bit of Ask Educator. Got some new things in the Adafruit Academy. Adafruit Learning System is just chock full of content. We'll talk about all that. We got some stuff from the world of Raspberry Pi. We've got new products. So many, we might not even get to them tonight. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to have a trivia question. We're going to have a cat.
Meow.
Here it comes. The meow is meow. All that and more on
Meow?
Ask an Engineer. Okay.
Yeah, it's a jam-packed show.
Yeah, it's a jam-packed show.
Can we say that? Is it actually full of jam?
Well, I mean, with this Raspberry Pi stuff, technically it's jam-like.
It's jam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So let's start this off. You know what? Unfortunately, this is becoming a trend. Every week, there's someone in science or technology or in history that passes away, goes to the big circuit board in the sky. So today, Neil Armstrong passed away. But he's already been up in the sky. So maybe he's just going back to the place. So
we lost a couple. We lost Sally Ride.
Yeah, well, 555 Hans was last week, and now Neil Armstrong. Yeah. What an amazing achievement! 48 years ago, I think that's what it was. Stepped on the moon.
Yeah.
And he only went there once. Big deal. So.
But it was a pretty intense, awesome thing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
The technology that was available at the time and what happened, and then now, nearly 50 years later, we're on Mars with robots. So I think we're slowly starting to get back into the idea that we're going to explore the universe again.
I'd rather send robots than people. I mean, I think sending people's cool, but like it's kind of like I think better. And like you send a robot there, and like it'll work like all the time, and you don't have to feed it, and it'll take photos and send them back.
Yeah.
I'm glad we sent somebody to the moon, but I think we should send robots. Robot friends. Robot friends.
All right. So let's keep moving on. So our code is 3. We might do this 3 code a couple weeks in a row because Ask an Engineer is now 3 years old. So 3
It's
years
basically
old.
a toddler.
Yeah, Ask an Engineer is a toddler. And we've been doing this for 3 years. A couple times when we were traveling, we had to take off because we were gone on a Saturday where it was just hard to broadcast.
But it's been 150 shows.
Yeah, it's been a lot. So 3 years. We're going to try to do a 3-year anniversary show next week. We have a lot of surprises in store for not only Adafruit, but Ask an Engineer and all sorts of things. So it is now the longest running and pretty much only live electronic show on the internet.
Yeah.
Every single Saturday we do this. We now added the show and tell for half an hour.
So an hour and a half of entertainment.
An hour and a half of entertainment. All for free.
You sit on the couch, you get entertained by us.
All for free. All we ask is if there's something cool in the Adafruit store, pick it up or tell some friends. So that's it. 3 years. We're really excited. And the stuff that we're working on is going to...
3 more years.
It's going to blow your mind, folks.
3 more years.
When you see it, it's going to be fantastic. So...
we do actually have a special guest today.
Well, we sort of have a special guest, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Sorry.
All right.
We have a special guest.
Yeah, so anyways, the code is 3.
3.
And 10% off lots of stuff in the Adafruit store.
Check it out.
And we're going to keep going now.
Okay,
all right.
So it's show and tell.
Show and tell. Let's talk about what was on the show and tell. We had...
Okay, first up, we had George Ainscott.
Yeah, well, I tried to just do the first name so I don't get your last name.
Sorry.
George had the ping pong wall of death. His mic worked this week. He could explain the whole thing.
It was quiet.
It is beautiful.
It's 2 in the morning. He couldn't put on the I don't know, house music or whatever that it goes with, but he says there's some like software, and he has some software, and there's some thing, and it syncs up. He said he got his friends from school to do all the work. So they did like 120 hours of work because it's like all the soldering and wiring, and he made these special driver boards and like I don't know, it was crazy. It was super blinky. It looked awesome.
Yeah.
It was definitely a death.
Okay, next up.
Kevin.
Kevin had the prototypes of the a la mode. It's this basically it's an Arduino that fits on top of the Pi. Lets you do all the sorts of things you want to do with an Arduino with a Raspberry Pi. It'll be debuting at Maker Faire. Go see him. Check out their site. I think he posts up links in the comments.
Yeah.
And then we also have Nathan, who's been working on his UAV quadcopter.
Is it a UAV? I thought it was just a quadcopter.
Oh, sorry, it's quadcopter.
Yeah.
But what's really neat is he's doing all the manufacturing himself. Basically, he's getting the PCBs from someone. He's getting the laser cut stuff from
quadcopter, but
yeah, it's really neat. And then we had Jeremy, who gave us an update. He took the ultimate GPS on the plane. He said no problems with the TSA. That's kind of cool. And he had it in this little Minton thing, and he said it beat the pants off of the iPhone.
Nice.
So the iPhone GPS isn't as good as our ultimate GPS, which I like to hear.
Yeah.
So. There's probably some type of joke about Samsung in there somewhere. And then we had Rob, and he has this Motate thing, which is this high-speed motor shield type thing. So we're asking to see a demo because if I understand what it is, it's a really easy way to do lots of complicated stuff with motors.
Yeah.
Motors are rough. They're hard to do. And then Chris had kind of the final update on Rider Pool, which is this
Rider Pool
that allows you to...
For pool control.
Yeah, pool control with basically like all of Adafruit stuff.
Yeah.
And then he got a replicator, MakerBot replicator, 3D printed the stuff out. So every time someone's on the show and tell, if you show a complete project, let us know because we have these new stickers. It's the As Seen on Show and Tell sticker.
As seen here. As seen here on the Ask Engineer.
Yeah, we've been sending these out to people, and then they're putting them on their projects, and they're going to hackerspaces or maker fairs or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that. So just drop us a note, and we'll get you one. Okay, so that's the show and tell. Lady Ada, how do people get on the show and tell?
Super easy. All you have to do is go to my personal Google Plus page, which you can get to real easy, and we'll even tell you soon the secret, better way of getting there.
It's easy.
But go there, and I'll have a post up once in a while that says, hey, like, comment here and get added to the super not so secret circle, and then I'll add you to the circle because I can only import a circle. I can't make it public. So you have to be in the circle before the show and tell, and then you'll get an invite at 9:30 Eastern time, and then you'll be able to join in. So do that now if you ever want to have something in the future.
Okay, let's keep moving. We gotta move fast tonight. All right.
I'm moving as fast as possible.
Google is granting kind of, they're called vanity URLs basically, but there's two new things that happen. So you can go to google.com/plus Adafruit and go right to our page. Not that big giant URL thing that's hard to do. And then there's also a Lady Ada.
Plus Lady Ada.
They let you use Lady Ada. That was kind of nice of them. Yeah, when you, and this is going to be rolled out to everyone, on my personal account I got to use my name too. Yours was first a little more free, but you requested Lady Ada and they gave it to you. So you're back to using your normal name. Yeah.
Weird. Going by my name.
Yeah, so anyways, so that's kind of neat. And and if you haven't already, join either Lemoore's or...
We post, and also... I post a lot of stuff that we don't post on the blog on my personal Google Plus. So if you should follow it because there's a lot of stuff that it's like, well, it's a cool or weird or like neat, but it's not quite like Adafruity. And also like shots when we're on the shop.
The shop. Becky posts up stuff. One of the reasons that we kind of like the we don't flood our site with all the social media buttons and stuff. It's kind of like litter.
Yeah.
But when you're on one of these places like Google Plus, everyone's basically logged into Google at all times. Mm-hmm. Like they kind of did a good job figuring that one out. So people comment very fast. There's no faster way. So sometimes we'll put a product and show only the people there because they can quickly ask questions, and then we can update like the product page with like some of the questions. Anyways, we're gonna keep moving. Quickly, the voting is still going on for you for Entrepreneur of the Year. You're the only engineer and the only woman in this entire list. There's 5 finalists and then 15 altogether. They only had it for Facebook for a while, but then they opened it up for text editing. I think
text.
You actually have so many people that don't like Facebook that I believe this is the reason.
It actually makes a difference.
Makes a difference.
Yeah. People requested. They said, "Hey, we want a way to vote without." It's not fair. You don't have a Facebook account.
So if you have a phone, a cell phone, you can text 170-116 22333, and we made sure we tried out this service. They don't spam you. They don't store it. It even says that. When you get a return message, thanks for the vote, we'll never spam you. So we made sure we checked that out before we would tell anyone.
Yeah.
So if you have your phone right now, take it out. We'll wait. And text this because Adafruit's the smallest company in all this, and
we're the smallest
a bit of an underdog.
But we can make it.
Yeah, luckily we have lots of
But we have fans.
Fans.
And if you have 2 phones, you can vote from each phone.
Yeah.
That's fair. You're allowed to.
So anyways,
okay, right?
I'll post it up in the chat, but please vote. Okay, next up, mailbag. Speaking of fans.
Packet.
Yeah, this is
mailbag.
Packet. This is Packet, the mailbag carrier. Okay, so this is a big long one. I'm going to read it. This is from William. Basically, William says this. He says, I recently bought a Raspberry Pi starter kit. Lots of useful things there. I'm always confident when I purchase from you. There are things that are going to be the best they can. For example, the wall wart supply, not a rinky-dink 500 milliamp, which the others might sell. But a full 1 amp one, which is much more than enough for the Pi. You actually need that for lots of reasons. Otherwise, it'll be under voltage. And then bonus, you have a cable with a USB barrel so they can use it for other stuff. He said, oh, great. There's other goodies in the box. Get this little board with a ribbon cable. Just a little thing, but it's awesome. Why? Because it had a great clear-to-read stencil, including the notch, which way the plastic shroud goes. The fact that it's notched ensures the cable goes in the right way. From the days of doing old-style PCs and getting IDE cables the wrong way, this is a great thing. Yesterday, I noticed that you had your own Raspberry Pi distro, which ensures that everything that you guys sell works. Then he says,
it does.
And this is the key one. You're not just pushing boards and parts. You're supporting the education development of community, which is an invaluable service for a hardware distributor. Anyways, he said he hasn't been buying a lot of stuff, but now he's buying some stuff, and he's going to...
And he likes his starter pack.
And he's going to say Adafruit is a good place to get that. So anyways, mailbag, we do it every week. Thanks for the nice letters.
Yay.
This is
Next
neat.
up.
Yeah, this is neat. A Hackerspace did this. This is Pumping Station 1, and they have some Lady Ada graffiti. I think this you're finally hitting the graffiti stage.
Okay.
So this is in a hackerspace, and then later on they can decorate it.
Okay.
So your
I've got gears.
Yeah, your little wired thing that you did is now graffiti.
Okay.
So it's neat.
Now,
all right.
Now I'm definitely airbrushed.
Yeah. Next up, John Janier has been on a
rampage.
On a tear, you
can I say a fritzing page, a rampage, fritzing rampage?
Yeah.
What is it like? He's out of control.
Yeah.
He's unstoppable.
He's fritzing the fritzing.
He's unfritzingable.
Anyways, here are all the latest parts. Can you name what these are real quick so we can get through these?
Yeah, so these are the 4 different colors we have of the 7 segments. We'll actually be showing one compared to a Pi, and he has picked very special numbers that are mean a lot to him. I don't know what they are exactly, but maybe if you research it, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So that's that. We also have the little cute mini 8x8 matrix displays with backpacks as well. Great when you need a green, red, yellow, or blue display, and you only want to use 2 pins.
Yeah.
Next up, he took some very lovely photos and had attached them to our 2.2 and 1.8 inch TFT SPI displays. These are great displays that use 4 or 5 pins and hardware SPI. You could also bitbang the SPI on an Arduino. They are wonderful. They are perfect. They have beautiful displays and an SD card in the back, and now you can use them in fritzing.
Yeah.
Then some level shifters, both the 8-way TXB0108 bidirectional 8-bit level shifter, and also the 4-channel BSS138 level shifter, which is more I2C friendly and also a little bit cheaper. Also the 1.3-inch graphic OLED, which is awesome and we love, and then also the micro SD breakout that's FIFO ready, and our DS1307 real-time clock kit.
Yeah.
Easy way to
so that's all in the fritzing line. John's going to do a little tutorial on how to download this in the fritzing. And we just sent an email to the fritzing team. We haven't been using fritzing, but now that we are, we're going to donate to the fritzing group because they're basically doing this as an open source project. So we're going to give them some money because we're using it as a tool for our production, and that's the way we roll. Next up,
roll like that.
That's the way we do it. All right, next up, you can explain this. So Kevin Townsend did this neat test. He tested the microcurrent that Dave Jones sells with like this really expensive piece of equipment to see how good it is.
Yeah,
he
has an Agilent or Gilent, I don't know what the hell you pronounce it. Agilent multimeter that I think we actually couriered it to him in Italy, and it's a very high precision multi-$1,000 multimeter, and it's not like your pocket multimeter. It's like a multimeter. It's like a machine. And he was testing the current draw of a very, very low power RF board that he's designing. And it's like a couple microamps, like what is it, 8 microamps, something, 18 microamps. And he tested first off with the Agilent using the current measurement ability, and he got basically the exact measurement as when he used a microcurrent, and then you could use any low cost multimeter. So he's like, damn, this is well designed. So yeah, if you ever need to do low power stuff, and then but you when you're measuring low power stuff, your burn voltages and the inaccuracies of your multimeter, they're not good at anything under like a milliamp or so, a couple milliamps. So we suggest picking up a microcurrent because that's the only way you can really tell what the current draw is of your circuit.
And if for the folks who ask like, hey Adafruit, like how come your stuff seems to work so well or whatever, Kevin is our lead engineer, and he has all this test equipment, and he does a really good job.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. He has like a TV inside of his power supply.
Yeah, it's cool.
You can watch like DVDs and play like Nintendo on it.
That's good stuff.
Okay.
All right, we're going to keep going. So if you follow Becky's Twitter, you can watch her progress on Instagram, and we also retweet it, and we put it on Google+. Becky's learning how to do surface mount soldering for the next round of Flora PCBs that
I
we
got her
in.
on surface mount duty because she's like, hey, can you solder up the latest Flora PCBs? And I'm like, man, I'm really busy. I'm like designing stuff. And I'm like, you know what, Becky, now you have to do it. So
she's doing really good. And
we got her at Met-Cal,
yeah.
and she sat her down, the Met-Cal, and we sat her down with some wick, and we're like, do these 3 Floras, and she did. It took her a couple hours, but she had 2 of them booted perfectly. One had a little short. We fixed it up, and then it booted perfectly.
And what I like is the fact that, you could make a Flora if you had to, just with pretty.
I pick components on purpose that are hand soldered. When they're available, I try to pick like 0805s, not 0603s.
Yeah.
I pick larger components. I pick TQFPs and QFNs when I can.
I was going to give Becky a surface mount badge, but basically that's a Flora, so she earned it.
Yeah,
okay.
She did like stable it herself.
Let's keep going. This is a cool
this
thing.
I don't understand.
No, this is the resistor calculator tile. You know our little papercraft thing? Someone made this. Look, I have to do the news. This is part of the news. When people do cool stuff, we have to
But
celebrate.
what, you're going to hold it up?
Yeah, this is cool. It's a tie. You spin the little wheels. It's a great icebreaker. Anyways, let's keep going.
I don't get it.
You don't wear ties. Okay.
That's true.
Okay, so next up, in the world of open source hardware, I just have, there's a ton of stuff that happened this week. Man, I don't even want to get into it. But anyways, here's the stuff that I do want to talk about. There's a really good report called How to Capitalize and Adapt to Open Source Practices for Tangible Products. Okay. It's basically like a case study on some businesses that use open source. So Arduino's in there, Adafruit's in there, and it has some really, this is someone's like giant paper on this. And it's great because I used to write articles on Make specifically like this. I ran out of time to just talk about all the business stuff, how many companies are, it's just too much. But luckily, like, students can get PhDs doing this now. So anyways, it's on the blog. Really cool report. Download it if you're ever wondering how you could possibly run a business giving away everything. It is.
Yeah.
It is very possible. Okay, next up, Ask an Educator this week was, how does one become an appropriate instructor for the Adafruit badges? I'm Kemp, a real-life school teacher who blogs all the time for all the educators and teachers out there that want to help get modern skills in schools, award kids badges, teach them electronics. The series is taken off. It's fantastic. People ask for Ask an Educator by name. Maybe one day we'll do a segment just to Ask an Educator straight up when we do the 8-hour marathon show. Anyways,
are we going to have phones and we're going to be like, we're calling people? Call up and donate?
You'll get a tote bag and a coffee cup.
Okay.
If you buy now. So anyways, check this out, because what he did was he put together how you could use all the requirements docs in adafruit.com/academy if you're an educator to get proficient to then award those badges. It's really good.
Hey, this is the game.
Yeah.
I'm just like thirsty.
Go.
I have to hydrate.
All right, next up. So speaking of, the robotics badge is in the Adafruit Academy, and there's a requirements document. So if you want to teach kids about robotics and then award them a badge, you can do that. Next up, and that's the Academy there. This is our page.
Yeah, check it out. We have like 10, 12.
We've got a lot, yeah. There's a lot. We have like 50 badges.
And they have checkboxes.
Yeah. News in the Adafruit Learning System. Adafruit Learning System is taking off. It is now becoming a monster. So I'm watching all the traffic. People are loving it. They're using it. People are downloading the PDFs in it. I'm thrilled with it. Tyler and Justin,
I use it all the time.
Zygo, and you. Yeah, you were the #1 customer, but now we're adding more people. So we just added John Janier to it. We've added
Kevin Townsend.
a lot of other folks on the staff. Becky, James, and pretty soon the entire staff will have it. Maybe one day it'll be for everybody. Right now we need to just hone it for the staff so we can keep cranking out tutorials. Speaking of, we did. So there is one minor update. If you look at the learn.adafruit.com site, there's lists for the authors. There's RSS feeds for the categories, for the authors, for the main page, for the updated tutorials. It's awesome. I love RSS. I know, like, it's kind of an inside baseball thing, like people don't know what RSS is, but it's a great way to keep track of stuff through like Google Reader.
Not everyone uses it, but if you do use it, and then there's like RSS to email converter thingies.
Yeah, we have a tweet for us. It's all it's all sorts of awesome.
It's an easy way to like, if you're like, well, I want to know if this tutorial ever gets updated, or I want to like get notified of the new tutorial because you just love reading tutorials. It's great. It's also good for me because I have to keep track of what's going on. There's so many people using the site. I want to just make sure that whenever we post something up, I review it, or like somebody reviews it and just checks it out.
Okay.
So
I'm keep moving. So in the learning system this week, we had a bunch of Raspberry Pi stuff because we're trying to help people. It's very difficult when you get a Raspberry Pi out of the box to do all the stuff you want to do. So we made the educational distro, Occidentalist, the black Raspberry, and then we have some cool new projects that are out. So this is the first one. This is a beautiful photo taken by Kevin. Do you want to talk about what this is?
Yeah, actually, I have this also live. This is a...
what do you know?
I'll show it off in when I do the overhead demos. But this is a... he got both the 7-segment and the mini 8x8 LED matrices working. So they're I2C matrices. And the cool thing about these backpacks is you use I2, so you can connect actually a bunch together because you can set the address. You can connect up to like 8 different displays. But this is by far the easiest way to add like a 7-segment display or clock or like a little matrix display to your project. And it's also perfect for the Pi because the Pi has I2C. And using, we actually wrote a really intense I2C Python library because it's kind of like doesn't work the way you'd think it would, and so we had to like wrapper it up and make sense of it because it doesn't deal with like casting and multi-byte transfers and all that stuff. So we figured that all out, fixed it, and we got the 7-segment display working. So we have a little demo that shows you how to make it into a clock, so you can show the time.
Yeah.
And we have that also, and it says it's 22222.
Yeah. In fact, I have 2 short videos from this tutorial.
Okay.
You want to watch these?
Sure.
We're gonna watch these. Okay. Here's the first one. This is the display going on. This is all being driven by a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, and yellow.
And then we've got this one. This is my favorite.
Bleep, 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 bleep. Bleep, bleep, bleep,
That's a lot of fun.
bleep, bleep.
And then I guess we'll go to the next one because this is the one that has sensor stuff.
Yeah, I also got these DHT humidity sensors working on the Raspberry Pi. I actually have to go back and do some bug fixes because it's being a little bit flaky, but. These are interesting because they're low cost humidity sensors that have a really weird kind of like Manchester-esque output. They use like a pull up and then it's like bit widths, and so it's not I2C or SPI or one wire. It's like this totally weird, bizarre protocol. I did get it working, and then not only did I get it working with the DHT and the AM2302 and all the humidity sensors in this family. But we also did a little tutorial on how to use gspread, which is a Python library that allows you to update a Google Docs page. So you open up you create a spreadsheet. I made an account, and then I created a spreadsheet, and then I was like, okay, this is where I'm going to store my humidity data and temperature data. And then the thing about the Pi is like you don't want to store the data locally on the Pi because like it's behind a firewall or whatever. So this way you can send it over the internet, Wi-Fi or Ethernet, and send your data autonomously to a spreadsheet, and then you can watch the spreadsheet from another computer, and it'll do backups and save it for you, and you don't have to worry about like, oh, it got deleted, or like the Pi caught on fire or whatever.
So I've got just a quick video, which is just a quick screencast that's looking at Google Docs live. So just to in case people didn't follow what you were saying, you can use Google Docs just like you would use Patch Bay, which is now called Cosm, to log data.
Yeah.
So you can have a Raspberry Pi.
And it's nice, it's in a spreadsheet.
Post up stuff to Google Docs.
And watch it live.
And have other people share it, other people do stuff with it. It's like super powerful. Like it's going to be one of those things where everyone's going to use it, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, now this is like a really easy way. Use all Google's infrastructure to handle all this stuff, and just have your Pi pumping up data and like sharing with a certain group of people or letting other people do stuff with it. So here's a quick video.
Okay.
So if you watch, you'll see the data coming in.
Yeah.
And I just did this quick video.
It's kind of creepy and cool because it's meant for like collaborative sharing. So it's like, oh, somebody's editing it, and then it adds the data and updates your screen. So it's smart enough. Google Docs is smart enough to realize that somebody else is sending data to the spreadsheet, and then it updates your view. So so this is something you can like run autonomously.
Yeah.
So it's running in the loop.
Okay. So that is our demo and we will we'll have some more Pi stuff very soon, and also some big announcements soon with Raspberry Pi stuff. But now we're going to just do the quick code, and then we're going to jump into new products because we are going to run out of time tonight. I can feel it. The code's 3.
3.
10% off many things in the Adafruit store. Use the code 3.
Yeah, it's only 3-year anniversary. We don't do 3%.
Yeah.
That'd be sad.
Yeah, we're giving you 10% on our 3-year anniversary. So anyways, I like this graphic. Okay, so let's do new products.
Okay.
It is now time.
We have a lot.
For new products.
They're quick, but they're
okay.
a lot.
Whew, we can do this. All right.
Okay.
First up, lots of XBs.
Yeah, I'll show all the XBs up on the overhead.
Okay.
Real fast.
You want to go to the overhead?
Yeah, because I'll just show them.
Okay.
So we've always carried the XB Series 1, which has been great, but we also wanted to extend our collection. And Digi was really kind, and they kind of said, oh, the pricing isn't that great on XBs, but tell you what, we'll give you a deal if you carry all of the XBs. And we're like, okay, sure. And so that worked out. And so we have the XB Series 1 Pro, and I love the Series 1s. And it comes with a wire antenna, which I think is kind of like your best bet because it's low power and it's all in one, and it's better range than the chip antenna. And then I might show how to upgrade it to the UFL connection because it's pretty easy to do that. And then there's the XB Series 2 Pro and Plain. And the Series 2 uses Zigbee, so it's not like the 802.15.4, which is kind of their own little XB protocol. It actually is like uses the Zigbee protocol, which means it has I think it has slightly lower power, slightly better range. It's not that much different, but we've noticed that more people are using the Series 2. I actually prefer the Series 1 because it has like more A to Ds. And I think it works. It's a lot easier. If you have 2 XB Series 1 in a room, they will automatically sync up together and form a link. So you don't have to like set them up and configure them. The Series 2, you do have to configure them. And you have to set up a coordinator and then like what kind of mesh network you want. They're good for mesh networks, but I find that a lot of people don't actually need mesh networks. So, but people wanted them, so we have both types, and they all work great. Remember that Series 1 can only talk to Series 1, Series 2 can only talk to Series 2.
Yeah.
So if you have a network already up, you can only use the series that you're using, but you can mix and match pros and non-pros. Okay, next up.
Okay, so as far as
Put these back.
nice photos of all these, by the way.
Yeah, we should nice photos.
Becky took these photos, I believe, so I want to show these nice photos. Because this is new for us in our store, we decided to stock a book that basically covers a lot of it. So Rob Faluti's book, who was at ISP, was instructor,
and
Digi hired him, which was probably the most brilliant thing. They started this Tumblr, which has all these great projects. Him and Matt Richardson do this examples.digi.com site with cool examples. And so this book, if you're going to get these things, we don't have tutorials for some of these yet. You should get this book. It's that good.
Okay.
And we're going to keep going. Okay, next up we have this really, really neat microscope stand for our USB microscope.
We're actually going to have a video of this next week, so I'm not going to show it in detail right now. But it's a cool USB stand. We'll have a video to demo because you have to twist around and stuff. But basically, if you have one of our USB microscopes and you kind of didn't like the stand because it's a kind of a basic stand, this stand is awesome. We have like a box of stands. This one was the only one that passed our rigorous stand.
And the way it works is really neat. It's like a cool little robot arm. Okay, we're going to keep moving. This is nice for Arduino R3 owners. Yeah,
so if you have an Arduino R3 or Leonardo or Mega R3, you'll notice that there are now more pins. So instead of having 2 6-pin connectors and 2 8-pin connectors, it now has a 10-pin, a 6-pin, and 2 8-pin connectors. So not all of our shields are fully R3 pinout compatible, but a couple of them are. The LCD shield and the NFC RFID shield, and any new shields that we're coming out with will be R3 compatible. And so we upgraded our pack of stacking headers to include a 10-pin. So now they can be used with either. If you have it old, use the 2.8 and 2.6. If you have a new, leave the 6 for something else. So it's you get more.
Okay. Someone wants to know: are you keeping the R2 headers in stock?
It's upgraded. It's the same product, but now it comes with an extra.
And someone wants to know: how about a stacking header for the ISP header?
None of our shields use that, so we haven't decided to carry it. But you could cut the 6-pin in half and then use that.
Yeah. We have little clippers for that.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, we got these buttons. People have kept asking for these, and we got them.
Yeah, so these buttons, and I'll show them on the overhead.
Okay, we're going to go to the overhead.
They're very overheady.
Okay.
We had buttons. Hey, that's where it went.
Yeah.
So we had these on-off buttons, and we only had them in green. And then we had momentary buttons. But people were like, well, I want the on-off buttons in all colors. We're like, well, okay. So we finally got in our order. And so this is an on-off button, so you can see when I press it, it stays depressed. So it's not momentary. It's actually a switch.
Yeah.
And there's an LED on the back, and so there's a full switch with all the contacts. And also the LED is separated. So you can have the LED on when you switch it, or off when you switch it, or any configuration you want, because it's free. It's completely free for you to wire. So this is white, and I really like it. It's this beautiful, cool white ring.
They're gorgeous. These were featured, I believe, on our show and tell with Chris's project.
Yeah, and they're also waterproof, and they're made out of like a chrome steel.
Yeah.
And this is red. So you got red.
Yeah, straight off the Blade Runner set, they look like. They're really nice.
And then we've got blue. We already had green.
Will we ever carry any really small waterproof buttons?
These are about as small as they get.
Yeah.
This is.
You got to jam a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah. So, yeah. The nice thing about these is that there's a they come actually with a gasket. I didn't bring the gasket.
Does it need no ring, and is it stainless steel?
It comes with an O-ring. They're, as far as I know, I think they're stainless steel. They're chrome plated steel or stainless steel. I don't know exactly, but they're waterproof. They're chromed, and yeah, they've got the full 5 contacts. And you can check the product page for full dimensions. Yeah. Which has dimensions of all the things.
Someone mentioned RGB buttons. You know, that's a little bit difficult for this type of thing.
Yeah, there's no RGB buttons. There's only solid color, but these look great. So
you can always crack one open and hack it. That might be fun. Okay, next up.
It won't be waterproof anymore.
It wouldn't be waterproof anymore. We got this chip. Look at this. It's a chip.
This is this is a basic chip, but people were wanting to want our solenoids and stuff, and we're like, well, we should probably carry some sort of driver chip.
Yeah.
So this is an 8-channel Darlington with built-in diodes. What's it called? Kickback diodes. So you get 8 channels. They're really easy to connect. I think it drives up to 40 volt outputs and up to like 500 milliamps. So it's great for like anywhere solenoids or even small DC motors. Basically, just like beefs up your outputs. It's really good if you have an Arduino and you want to drive a big output, or if you have a Raspberry Pi and you want to drive something. Yeah. And it's nice because the pins they're parallel, so the input is on the opposite side of the output, so it's really easy to wire it up, and you just have a common ground.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, I like these because I was looking around for servo cables, and there was nothing good out there. And
let me grab a servo second.
Yeah, and you're gonna get a servo.
Yeah, I have one right here.
And we finally got exactly what we wanted. And if you look around, these are
really nice.
These are nice, and they work.
They work. So the nice thing about these servo cables, we got 2 sizes because we couldn't decide whether people want 50 or 60 or 50 or 30. So they're super flexible. So you can like get them into like any. They're like the soft. They're not solid core. They're stranded core. And on the inside, it's really hard to see. But in the inside, there's 3 little pins that stick out. So all you have to do is you grab your existing servo and you snap it in, and you don't need any other components or parts. And the wire colors even match up, so you get red, black, and white. And you've got your servo here, and then on the other side you've got your servo connector. So this is really good if you are using, like a motor shield, or if you're using our servo driver board. And we've got 2 sets. We've got 30, which is about like 12 inches. And 50, which is about 20 inches. So use whichever one you need. But yeah, these are nice, soft, flexible, not too heavy, so they're good for your projects if you need a little bit more range.
Someone mentioned First Robotics folks are going to love these because it's basically that's what they're trying to do all the time is connect servos around. And some First folks already bought some and already emailed. It was that fast.
Really?
It's like as if they were waiting for these to finally come out. Okay, we got some panel mount stuff. These are panel mount USB cables.
Yeah, hold on, let me put my servo away.
These are super nice.
I gotta put these servo cables. Okay, so yeah, we had the A type and the Ethernet type and the B type, and people are like, well, okay, but I have like mini B or micro B. So we have extended. Oh, can you pass me some scissors?
Scissors. Okay.
Yeah, because I gotta open. These are in the bag. I gotta open the bag.
We used to have a whole big cup of pens. Now it's a whole big cup of scissors.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather have scissors and pen. Huh. So these are they're a little bit short, but that's good because you want to put them in an enclosure or something. So on one end is a micro USB connector, and their hand is on the other side is a B. And then you take these screws and you put them on the other side, and they have little captive hex nuts, so you can attach this panel mount. It's not waterproof, but because you know you need like a full attachment system to make it waterproof. But you know, it's a good way to connect to something that's in a box. So we have a mini B version. This one's a micro B. They're about 6 inches long. And you can't get panel mount with a micro B connector, like it doesn't really exist. But these are really good solid connectors. This actually is better because this is a good, if you're going to attach the outside of a box.
Yeah, and plus you're going to be doing it all the time, and it'll probably get knocked and everything. Micro tends to pop off. And
yeah, the micro connectors they're not really meant to be bent and stuff. But these USB are nice chunky connectors. So that's why we picked B on this side and then micro and mini on the other side. So we have both, mini and micro.
Okay, so you got that?
Yes.
All right. Let's and I'll just show you two nice photos.
These nice photos. So yeah, these are good for teensies or FTDI friends or Raspberry Pi or Leonardo. Anything you want to place in a box where you don't want.
Here's a couple more photos in action.
Yeah, you want to put an enclosure or something, or if you want to adapt it, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean a lot of people are probably going to put a Raspberry Pi inside of like a keyboard or a thing, and you'll want to have panel mount stuff to plug into it.
Yeah, because there's a connector on every side, so like you can't at all sides.
Okay, and then next up, we're in the Pi zone kind of right now. These little USB Wi-Fi adapters are awesome. In fact, they're selling fast.
Okay.
They're fantastic. We fully tested by us. Small. We really like them. Super tiny, super useful.
Yeah.
You want to go the other end?
Yeah. So this is the little. They're small, but I tested a lot of them, and actually these had really good range. So not all small adapters have the same range, but this one I found worked really well, and so I've got it hooked up here. It has a little blue LED in it. You can kind of see it's flickering a little bit. It when it's working, it flickering or sends data or receives data. I don't know. The blue LED turns on to let you know you have a link. It works perfectly with Occidental. It also works with a BeagleBone. It's a really good adapter, and I've been running this connection for like a couple days, and it's super solid on the Pi. And then here's the demo of the 7-segment display running using only 2 wires on the Pi, and it's showing the time.
Yeah, so this is super neat. This is a fully portable. I mean, it's running off a battery.
Yeah, I've got it connected up to the battery pack.
I mean, like let's here. Can I
okay, bye.
Yeah, just to show this real quick, like, it's all wireless.
Wireless.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have an SSH in from the other side of the room to run the demo.
Okay.
But it's great.
Let's keep moving along.
And we'll try to carry more, bigger antenna versions. But for now, this little one actually works pretty well. We tried in the office and we could see like pretty much everything, even. Like the same networks that we could see in the same range that we would with a larger adapter.
All right, more adapter-y stuff.
Adapters. Yes, this is a USB to PS2 adapter, and inside is actually a little chip that does like a little microcontroller that has like a USB client, and then you can connect a keyboard and mouse. And this is good. I thought like people who did Raspberry Pi stuff and they wanted to have a mouse and a keyboard connected only using one USB port, and like you have old computer stuff kicking around and you want to recycle it. This is a really good use for it. Also, if you want to use our MagStripe reader, which is PS2, you can use with this.
Someone wants to know, is it possible to remote access the Raspberry Pi and program it remotely?
Absolutely.
Yep, that's actually one of the things that we
That's what I do every day.
Yeah, that's what you do a lot. Okay, next up. We've got these cool connectors. I was pushing for these.
You asked for this.
These are so useful for so many things, especially when you have little tiny devices and you need to get USB cables with them. If you have a regular laptop, sometimes you have peripherals that won't fit in because they're
I was actually looking at the USB to PS2 adapter. It's not like lumpy, but it like sticks out a lot. So maybe you want it to stick up. So I'm gonna show something right here. It's weird to understand.
These are so useful. I've traveled with these for years in my bag, and it's great to have them to start.
So this is so normally you can just plug into a USB connector, but this is like a flexi thing where you can bend it 90 degrees this way, 90 degrees this way, and then 90 degrees this way, and then 90 degrees this way, and then you can do both at the same time. So you can like have it like do this, which is kind of weird. Like, what's weird? What's going on? 45 degrees.
Given the trend of like small Linux boards, dev boards, you know, you're going to always need to be plugging in lots of USB stuff, and like because every cable is different, like you're going to be slicing them down or something.
We always have like especially like USB keys. Sometimes they can be like really big.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore, but or like some Wi-Fi adapters. If you want them to stick up or out, so we have these, and they're pretty simple, but useful.
We're going to keep moving along. We put in the Raspberry Pi starter pack. Budget pack. And it got too popular, and we sold out of them all fast. So we're not going to spend any time on this other than we've got them. We're going to have them back in stock soon.
We'll try to have some more.
Yeah. And then our wrapping up hopefully the new products in a second here. We developed this new product.
These are two new. These are kind of not out yet.
Yeah, this is...
You can kind of ask, but they're not out yet.
So one of the bits of feedback about the Raspberry Pi that people had was the card sticks out. So we made this neat adapter that has a micro SD that goes in so it's flush, so you can see how it doesn't stick out. Here's the nice graphic that Becky made.
Nice work, Becky.
Yeah, and then here's how you can see it in the device. So let me go to... You want to go to the overhead?
Yeah, because I have it here because I've been demoing it. Where I have to know if it works. So here it is. So it does stick out a little bit, but much less. Like normally it would be sticking out like pretty much all the way to the end of the
and for some applications it doesn't work out. Oh yes, and it fits our case.
Yeah, it fits in our case, and it's basically this is what it is. It's this micro SD card holder on a SD card shaped PCB, and it's got the contacts on the bottom. And then so instead of it's got the same shape as the big card, but it's about a third of the length, and so you can take out your micro SD and pop it in. And I'm not going to do it to this because this is running, but you can pop out the card.
Yeah, we have these nice little holders
it's got the push
nice spring action.
Push connection. So if you're interested, sign up. We're not sure exactly the price, but it's going to be about under $5.
It'll be under $5.
It'll be under $5.
You've heard it here first. We can't go back on it now.
It will not be over $5. It'll be under $5.
Yeah.
And less than that.
And would it fit in the case if you didn't cut the SD hole in the side?
Don't know.
Yeah.
We have to experiment with that. All our cases are going to have the SD hole, so.
Yeah. Okay. And then next up, we're pleased to announce that Pibo, the very colorful case that a lot of people like, will be in the Adafruit store soon. We chatted with the folks over there. They're making them as we speak. They have multiple lasers for this. Those are the instructions, and they're going to have us become a reseller in the U.S. The persons who designed the Raspberry Pi logo also work on this case. That's why you can see the Raspberry Pi logo. The Raspberry Pi folks were very smart when they started. They had a list of all the things that's okay to do with the logo and not okay.
Yeah.
And you can maybe ask permission for some stuff. You can reference it in a certain way. In this particular case, these are the folks or the person who designed the logo. So this is one of the few.
That's why we don't have the Raspberry Pi logo on our case because we're not.
Yeah. No, we respect everybody's trademarks, and if we ever use anything like our badges, we always seek permission first.
Yeah, we have permission.
So, anyways, this will be in the store soon. It's I think $19.95 is the cost, and they're coming over soon. So sign up for those. Those are going to go fast. So those are new products.
From across the pond.
We just got those.
There's a lot of stuff. This desk is like full of things.
New
I think I showed everything.
Oh yes, the layers can be rearranged for the folks who asked.
Really?
The stacking? Yeah, you can do them in different. You can do them in.
But not too different because there's holes have to be lined up.
Yeah. But you can do them in. I don't think it's a specific order.
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh really?
Yeah, because I remember it wouldn't fit if you didn't put because like each one has a slot for all the.
Oh, someone wants to know across the pond, China? No, the UK. There is
the pond.
The pond.
The pond. It's the Atlantic.
Yeah. I'll have to look because I thought you could go in a different order, but maybe you're right.
I think it's fixed.
Okay. All right.
Because the rainbow. That's how you know how to put it together.
Remember, the code is 3. Because we've been doing this for 3 years. 3 years! Whew. Okay, so we're going to do questions.
Okay.
For as long as we can.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to put away some of these items.
Yeah, put away some of these items. So let me hop over here, and let's do this thing. Okay, first question is, are there wear leveling file systems like JFFS to include in the Raspberry Pi Supply distro images?
I'm almost positive that they've done that. Also, another thing is where leveling is done inside the SD card.
Yeah. Okay.
But embedded Linux is such a common thing with embedded Linux.
Yeah,
I don't doubt that it's been included.
Someone wanted to know, can you custom order colors for the Pibo? I don't think so yet.
I
think
think
just
it's
making
fixed.
big batches of them.
Yeah, it's fixed.
Okay. Ask your engineering questions. This is Ask an Engineer. Cheapest AVR dev board with programming?
I don't know. I like the Evil Mad Scientist board. Arduino is actually probably the cheapest one.
Leonardo.
Arduino's.
Yeah.
Leonardo's the cheapest one, has built-in programming.
Yeah. Next up, what do I need to look into to make 12-volt lamps blinky with Raspberry Pi?
You can use the ULN 2008, 3, 04, whatever it was. That can drive a 12-volt load. You didn't mention if it was AC or DC. If it's AC, you can use a triac or you can use a triac or a transistor. A transistor not so great at it, but you can. If you're trying to blink 120 volts, you can use a power switch tail.
Okay, next up, where can I find a sensor that can sense the measurement of 0 to 150 psi steam?
I don't know, but probably an HVAC supply shop will have something that, that's pretty high pressure. So there's analog gauges that do it. So I'm assuming there's digital gauges. I'm assuming McMaster Car probably has something, but it'll cost you. It'll probably be like $50 to $100 at least.
Okay, next up, a tutorial of building Raspberry Pi Linux. We'd love to see one because it's hard.
That'd be great.
Yeah. We're probably not going to be the ones writing it. It's very difficult to do these distros, and it's always complicated it's
you don't need to, though. You can use the default and just build on top of it. It's probably easier than
we'd love to see someone put together a really good tutorial.
There is a good there's the horse book from O'Reilly. It's a good Linux kernel device driver book. I love that book. I don't know where it is, but I have to find it soon.
Next up, how can I limit the current being used by a cell phone, like for use with USB Shield?
You can't.
Okay. Is there an open source smart home system? There's one on Kickstarter, I think.
I don't know an open source one.
There's one on Kickstarter, I think.
There's the Energy Monitor one.
Yeah, I don't know the name of it. I'm just looking at it.
Emon system.
It says open source. I don't know for sure though. Yeah. Next up, is it possible to talk to two XB Series 2 at the same time? In other words, one transmitter, two receivers responding to the same commands.
You can, but I believe you have to use the API at that point. Actually, yeah, you have to use the API at that point. But you can do it.
Next up, I can answer this one. My buddy and I have two version 2 Minty Boosts, and they've always tend to overheat on the batteries with the iPhone 4S, only charging up about 20%. What are we doing wrong? Post in the forums, it sounds like there's...
But the Minty Boost version 2 is old.
Yeah.
And the 3 is better.
Yeah, post up in the forums. You're probably not going to be able to do it because the iPhone... these phones are just big batteries.
The iPhone 2 is very, very old. You might just use bigger batteries.
Yeah. But post up in the forums. We'll be able to help
you. We have a battery tutorial on the Minty Boost page. You can follow it.
Next up, can you use the XP as a Raspberry Pi?
You can. You'd have to disable the serial monitor and use that, which is not a problem. But then you can't lose the serial monitor. But it can do serial, no problem. I did a tutorial using XBs with a Wi-Fi router, which is kind of the same thing. It's like a Linux computer, and so you can check out that code because I got it basically working using some Python XB stuff and for the tweetawatt. So it's pretty much the same thing. You can look at that example code. It's completely not supported anymore because it's for this Wi-Fi router off the Raspberry Pi, but you can check it out.
Next up, I have some XBs, but don't know if they're Series 1 or Series 2. How can I tell?
It says on the top.
Okay. Next up, how can I make 2 banks of 10 LEDs flash 1 second at a time?
A 555 could do it.
Okay. Where is the Ada Stream logo? Oh, we do that in post-production for the recorded show. Next up.
Ada Stream?
Yeah, when the show's recorded, when George does a production thing, it says Ada Stream.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, we do have this. Let me get out of the way.
Hello.
Yeah. Next up. Tutorial for interfacing to your addressable LED strips, please.
We have tons of tutorials.
Guess
you should
what,
check out
Joe?
the learning
Here you go. Done. We just finished that right now.
What, for Arduino?
No, for the Raspberry Pi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's almost like I wrote that 2 weeks ago.
Yep, it's already up.
It is already up.
Set.
Actually, Burgess actually wrote that tutorial.
Okay. Doesn't Myth TV have some home control features? Yes, it does. But I don't know how easy it is to use. I haven't used Myth TV since the EFF Myth TV build a million years ago. like 10
The
years ago.
EFF did a Myth TV build?
Yeah, we all showed up and built Myth TV.
Oh, I thought you meant like a Linux build. I'm like, that's a weird thing for the EFF to do.
No, we just set up computers. Next up, what's the best material method for potting PCBs for use in a submersible?
Epoxy. There's a submersible epoxies you should use.
Okay.
Potting compound. There's just lots of tutorials out there about potting.
Next up, where can I download the Adivision code even if it's not working still would be useful?
It's not available.
Yeah,
it's still under development.
Yeah.
It's going to be rewritten.
Yeah, we're working on it. We'll be out soon. Has anyone tried to load Windows or Raspberry Pi? I've heard people are trying to get Windows 95 on it.
What?
So, yep. Raspberry Pi forums.
Okay.
Check them out. Next up, I found out today that the current Adafruit Pi distro uses a UK keyboard layout. I fixed it on mine. I'll email support with instructions to fix there are a few keys that are not mapped right. Thanks. Okay.
Sure, you can use raspi-config. Remember, I didn't change any of that stuff. That's built into the distro, and it's a British distro.
Is there an easy way to add voice to my Pi, like Hawking, like the robot voice?
Yeah, there's I actually got TTS working, but I cannot remember the name of what I used. But it was like the most popular speech thing, and it was like TTS-something, and it worked great.
Okay.
Sorry, can't remember. But I'll do a tutorial eventually about it.
Okay, so next up, this one's going to be hard. Differences between SPI, I2C, and UART.
That's too long for
That's the big one. Yeah, we're going to run out of time for that. You can post that in the forums, and we can send some links. Tutorial for 16x4 LCD for Raspberry Pi. Someone else know?
We have a tutorial up already.
Yep.
Why do people? You guys check out the tutorials. A lot of tutorials are written already.
Learn.adafruit.com.
It's already
these
there.
These are easy answers. Okay, next up. What is an alternative to XP if all I need is a bunch of receivers controlled by one transmitter?
I don't know.
Okay.
I use XP.
Yep. Okay. Next up. Will we sell XPs with a RP SMA connector?
I actually have no plans to do that at this time because I think a UFL connector... I don't know why you would put an RP SMA connector directly on it. I think that's kind of crazy. I think it's better off using a UFL and then a UFL to SMA or RP SMA connector because first off, you don't even know the polarity of your antenna necessarily, depending on whether you're using an active antenna or not. And second, like the XP is really delicate, and like if you have an antenna on it, it'll be heavier than the XB. I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah. By the way, if you go to the Learn site and type 16x4, you can get to the tutorial.
No, that's
the other one.
It's 16x2.
16x2. That's
and then you just adapt it for 16x4.
Yeah, same thing, just a little math. Next up, Dangerous Prototypes has an SPI guide, by the way.
Yep.
Any tutorials on reading timing diagrams?
No. Look at the 6004 OpenCourseWare documents, 6.004. There should be a lecture in there about reading like timing diagrams, but mostly just read them. I mean, like there's not too much going on there.
This person asked a question before, but they're asking a bunch of times, so I'm just going to answer again. How can I make 2 banks of 10 LEDs flash 1 second at a time? And you had said before.
A 555 would do a really good job at that.
Yeah, and Make has a giant 555 week going on because Hans has passed away, so there's a million 555 posts that Make
If
right
there's
now.
one thing that's on the internet, it's 555 blinking LED tutorials.
Yeah. Okay. I think we got through all these.
Okay, great.
All right. Yeah, the fellow's name is... He has 555 timer in his username.
Oh, great. So you know all about it.
I think he's just...
he's messing
I think
with
he's
you?
just messing with us.
I'm not going to change my mind. A 555 still is probably the easiest way of getting it done. The thing I like about it is it's easy to change the timing.
All right. Can you use a 555 as a replacement for a crystal?
It depends. If the system that you're using basically is okay with having a clock in, like shoved directly in its 5-volt level or like 3-volt level, then yes. Most do. There might be some systems that like they actually do have to have like the crystal and the load of the crystal on there. But like I can't think, most microcontrollers and such would be happy with the 555. The only thing is, 555, it's not very stable. So like, I mean, it will run, but like it's not a precision device. You're not going to get especially since a capacitor and resistor are going to change so much the temperature much more than a crystal would. You're better off just using a crystal and 2 caps.
By the way, the fellow who was asking the questions, he's 12. So the audience here at Ask an Engineer is getting younger. For all you older folks out there, the younger kids, they're doing a lot of advanced engineering on show and tell. We're seeing like, early teens doing quadcopters, sending out their own boards, doing stuff with Pinocchio. It is impressive. They're learning Eagle. These new kids that are coming up are awesome. I can't wait to see what's going to happen 5 years from now with all the stuff that they're working on. If they're 12 now, by the time
I just played Nintendo.
Well, you played around on Linux a lot too.
Not when I was 12.
Not when you were 12, but when you were your teen years. Touchscreen LCD tutorial for Raspberry Pi. We might do that.
That's actually a tough one because you can't use
complicated.
You can't use a dot clock display, which is a bit annoying.
Yeah.
Although I'm surprised there's no dot clock. You can use NTSC, but then you have to have a separate touchscreen controller. HDMI also I don't think has touchscreen system built in. Although I don't know, but there's really no way to get a HDMI touchscreen display out there. They're not really made. There is a display interface on there. I don't know if it supports touch. I think it does, but it's like only one display in the world uses this interface. It's kind of obscure. So like, yeah, they kind of made it difficult to do touchscreen.
Next up, what is the formula to choose LiPos milliamp hours?
We have a batteries tutorial.
Yep.
Can you, maybe somebody can post
if someone could maybe search for the Lady Ada batteries tutorial. What is the best aux for high frequency?
Aux?
OCS for high frequency.
I don't know what OCS?
What's the best OCS for high freq?
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, Adafruit mass-produced a person circuit design. Usually, no. We're tied up with all of our projects and products. Once in a while,
check out OSH Park.
Yeah, OSH Park is a good one. Occasionally, we work with folks like Mitch from TV Be Gone or Jay from Draudio, depending on what it is. But right now, we have like 1,000 products we want to get out the door, so we're not going to manufacture.
We have like a half a thousand on our desk right here.
We'd love to. Maybe as the company grows, we'll do that. Next, oscillator for high. That's what the OC was.
For high frequency, any kind of temperature compensated oscillator would be great. Yeah. Crystal would be great.
Next up, my son wants to know, will there be a pumpkin pie? Ooh, that's a really good idea.
Ooh.
A Raspberry Pi, pumpkin pie.
That's a Halloween project.
Oh, that's very good. Yeah, we want to do some fun Halloween projects with all sorts of electronics. We'll see if we can get to them. We might be in the middle of our Adafruit move. We're moving to a big facility. We'll talk about that in the future. Any plans for a gyro in the pipeline?
There is. We actually just sent out today or tomorrow. We'll be sending out the final boards. Okay. We're very picky about our gyros.
Whew. Okay, I'm going to try to just do a couple more quick ones. Best GPS for Arduino?
The ultimate GPS.
There you go. Next up.
Ultimate.
I think I got that one. Do you have any 5-pin touchscreen how-tos yet?
No, we did post up an app note, I think, from AppMel on 5-pin touchscreens. They're like 4-pin, I think, and there's like an extra calibration pin or something. They're pretty easy to use, though. All
right, we're done. Whew, we got through most of them. It's trivia question time. Can you do the rules once I get back to this other screen, Lady Ada?
Yeah, sure. The rules are...
Okay, wait.
The rules are, if you've entered this contest and you've won a fabulous prize, please don't enter because we have all sorts of new people who are in the chat now and we want them to all win fabulous prizes. So I know you're so smart, so just sit on your hands, okay? Or type into another window if you can't help yourself.
Where's the prize?
The prize is a Leonardo, which we can't find because it's on top of something.
We have
stuff here.
Yeah, it's somewhere around here.
Somewhere here. Here it is.
Oh, yeah. So my
Leonardo.
Yeah, my favorite...
Which is the cheapest... If you're a dev board with a built-in program.
Yeah, I say low cost because when you say cheap, it sounds bad.
I know, American.
But this is my favorite. This is my favorite Arduino.
Okay.
Moment. Okay.
And it's awesome.
So here is the trivia question.
Oh yeah, and you have to answer it correctly in our window. If we're the first person to answer correctly in our window, wins the prize.
When did Neil Armstrong set foot on the moon? When? Looking for the month, the date, and the year.
In Earth time.
Yeah. Month, date, year.
Month, date, year.
People are getting close, but you gotta do month.
You totally didn't do the right thing.
All right.
Looked up the right thing.
The answer is, I think EE Student got it.
EE Student.
July 21st, 1969. EE Student.
I like how one guy's like, he was born on... No.
All right. EE Student.
Okay.
Email support@adafruit.com. You get the Leonardo. Okay. Congratulations. All right. So I'm going to dash over. Can you show something on the overhead?
I'm going to show our special guest.
What?
Can you show on the big screen?
Okay. You show. We have one special guest.
Okay, I'm going to show up the special guest while you get the other special guest.
Okay.
I can carry this.
Okay.
Okay, so our special guest is a 35-watt laser. And this was the laser. You can look into it because it's off. This is the laser tube, that the carbon dioxide laser tube that was born July 5th, 2006. And it was another laser, and it has lived a nice long life, 6-year life, and it has done so well for us, but it finally died. Eventually the tubes do die, and they have a limited life, but it lasted many, many, many hours, cutting out every ice tube clock, every Ardex plate, every monocron enclosure, all our prototyping stuff. It stenciled out, it lasered out our stencils for when we were starting out with surface mount, and now it's going to rest. It's going back to be reborn as another laser. We recycle them. We send them back to the factory. They clean them out. They recycle the aluminum casing, and they outfit it with a new laser tube, and the cycle of laser life continues.
Yeah. And just on a quick side note, when we got the laser, we documented the laser business. Lots of other people started laser businesses. One person started one and sold it for $10 million. That was really neat, using all our tutorials and templates and files. And we paid for the laser that we bought for it took about a year, and we were etching laptops, Macs, and all sorts of other devices, $100 a pop, and we managed to pay off the laser. And it was a really neat way that we kind of kick-started the business before there was a Kickstarter.
4 milliwatt laser diode.
Yeah. So
cool.
Anything's possible. And now it's pretty common for a hackerspace or homes that people have to have a laser cutter. Now it's not a big deal at all, but it was really exciting.
When I got it was definitely weird.
It was
people
crazy.
were like, what is this thing you got?
Yeah,
now it's not so unusual, and they're
really
also
cool.
a little cheaper. But in July of 2006, it was as unusual.
Okay, so now it's time for this cat.
This cat.
Yeah, he's purring, so let's see if we can get him to meow. Sometimes he meows on camera, but sometimes he doesn't. There's a cat. This is what everybody showed up for. You have anything to say, Mosfet? Anything to say?
This cat has been on the show since the beginning.
Yeah, Mosfet has been on the show.
He's also 3 years older, but he looks exactly the same.
Yeah, he is 3 years older. I don't know what that is in cat years. He's got a couple gray hairs.
He's always had those gray hairs, though. Those have been on his chest.
Okay, so thank you, George, Becky, John, K-Town, Phil, everybody who showed up in the show and tell. George,
Mosfet.
Kevin, Nathan, Jeremy, Rob, Chris. Fantastic show. Like I said, we're going to try to do the anniversary show next week. Really big group of surprises that I think everyone's going to love, and lots of neat stuff ahead. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching the show for 3 years. There's a lot of long-time people and a lot of new people.
We're going to learn that Mosfet's really your son or something. Like, what's the...
What, a big reveal?
Yeah. That's cute. He just crawled in my lap. Oh, this is a cute cat.
He's
nice. Cute.
He really likes you.
Yeah, he likes you. He's always crawling in my lap.
And don't forget, and I'll ask one more time, if I'll post it in the chat in a second, text if you like the tutorials that Lady Ada does and all
if
the
you
cool
like
stuff.
that you asked for a tutorial and I've already written the tutorial for you, then cast your vote.
Yeah. So,
I already wrote these tutorials.
Thanks so much. And once again, in memory of Neil Armstrong, what a fantastic achievement for all humans.
And you know what?
All humankind.
They really did go up in a tin can. Like, they really did. Like,
Yeah.
we went to the Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C., and we looked at, which were the modules that we looked at?
Oh, it was one of the Geminis, I think, or something, yeah.
And it's, you look at it and you're like,
how did a person fit
you
that?
wouldn't even go out on a lake in this thing. It is a tin can. It is a shell of metal, and there's a man inside of it, and they can't really move. And we shot people into space, and it was incredible. And we got them back.
Anything is possible. I mean, that's what that really shows. Anything is actually possible. When humans put their mind to something, anything's possible. So we have to be careful what we put our minds to, because we can do anything. Yeah. Good or bad. All right. So everyone, that's it. Here is, and we'll see you next week, your moment of Zener.
You want to say hi?
Meow meow. Here's your moment of Zener.